to start in just a couple of minutes. And in the meantime, as always, I have stuff to show you. First, if you have not already, as always, we do have free PDFs available for you to download. You can find the link for this below the video if you are watching on YouTube, or you can find it above the video if you're watching on Facebook. There are a bunch of different topics you can choose from, whether you like eating out or going to hotels for travel, like for business. There's stuff to talk about your leisure time, which means the things you like to do, like your hobbies, for example. You could also talk about all of these other things. So take a look at this. I'll show you a few more of these later in today's lesson, up close on our other camera. But you can take a look at these. They are free. You can download them all from EnglishClass101.com. Great. I see lots of people on the YouTube chat now. Hello there. Augusto, hi. Jagdeep, Markinson, Kodiak, hello. Minhan, hello. Tiva, Colin, hi everybody. Thanks very much for joining us. And I think Facebook is just getting up for us now too. Hi everybody. Bori, hey, hi everybody. Zainab, hello. I have a couple people. Yeah, just Facebook I think is just loading. So as you send or as you join, please make sure to send us a message and hit the like button too so other people can find today's lesson. Oh yes, my other announcement is about, in general, this, I wanted to share a photo. This is a photo I took with a couple of our awesome team members at the end of 2019 to say thank you to everybody who has been watching and sending your questions, sending your comments, participating in our videos by sending questions to Ask Alicia or to our monthly review. A big thank you to everybody in 2019, and I hope that you continue to support and watch us and connect with us in 2020 as well. Great. Okay, that's it for announcements. I see many people are here now. Fantastic. So as I said, today is going to be about setting goals. I'm going to focus on setting goals and also helping build a plan, helping you to kind of keep your studies going forward so that you don't fall flat. You don't hit what's called like that intermediate plateau. A plateau is like a flat part of land where you don't go up or down. So there's an intermediate point, that middle level where we get stuck sometimes. So I'm going to talk about this today. But first, I'm going to share today's live lesson, and then I'm going to begin. I'm going to start today by talking about something that I talk about a couple times every year, I suppose. I'm going to talk about the concept of goal setting, specifically what's called SMART goal setting. So I'm going to slow down my speaking speed a little bit now. I'm going to start today's lesson by talking about setting the right goals, So I know I see your comments of every day, and a lot of you write comments like, I want to speak English fluently. I want to talk like a native speaker. So you have like these very big ideas, which is great. That's a positive thing for sure. But I want to emphasize the importance. I want to remind everybody how important it is to have very specific goals. So smaller goals inside your bigger goal. So I want to talk first today about setting goals in the most effective way you can. So we use this, or I like to use this, what's called SMART goal setting. So you can see the first letter of each word here, S-M-A-R-T. This spells SMART. So what is a SMART goal? A SMART goal is a goal that has all of these different points inside it. So a SMART goal is something that is specific. So for example, this, I want to be fluent, is not a specific goal. Like I want to be fluent in English, or I want to be fluent in Chinese, whatever language you're studying. This is not a SMART goal. This is not specific. So choosing something specific is, for example, I want to learn 500 new vocabulary words. Like that's a very specific goal. Or I want to learn all the words, all the vocabulary words on this PDF, something like that. So you choose something that's very specific, so you know exactly what the goal is. Second, the M in SMART stands for measurable. So measuring something, imagine like a ruler, yeah? You're able to measure the length of something, or you can measure time with a watch. So how are you going to track your goal? You need to make sure your goal is measurable. So in other words, how do you know when you achieve the goal? How do you know if you didn't achieve the goal? So for example, with a goal like study 500 vocabulary words or learn 500 vocabulary words, you can measure it. Did I do it or not? Or with learn all the vocabulary words on this PDF, you can check, you can measure it. Did I do it or not? So make sure your goal is measurable. You can't measure fluent. Like, yes, you can take tests, but there are many different types of tests and there are different levels of fluency, right? So make sure that your goal is measurable. Third is achievable. Achievable. That means, is it actually possible to do that? So if you are a beginner, or if you're maybe even like intermediate, but you haven't studied for a while, and you say like, I want to be giving a research presentation next month. Like that's just not possible probably for most people. It's not achievable. It's not something we can achieve. So there's a very, very low chance of success. So choose a goal that is achievable. Like again, like learn 500 vocabulary words by April. Something like that is much more achievable. Next, realistic, a realistic goal. So that means, does the goal like match with your lifestyle? Does the goal match with your schedule as well? So maybe the goal is achievable, but for you, like maybe you're super busy and you don't have 3 hours to use for study every day. So make sure your goal is realistic. So please keep this in mind. Don't like overwhelm yourself with everything you need to do. Finally, is it timely? Timely. So timely, think of timely here as meaning, does it match your life? Does it match your needs right now? Is it something that you can focus your energy on right now? So maybe if you're like changing jobs or changing houses or you have many different things going on in your life right now, maybe it's really, really difficult to create a super focused study plan. So make sure that your goal matches your life situation right now. So this is what's called a SMART goal. A goal that meets all of these points is a SMART goal. So some examples of this are, as I said, learn 500 new vocabulary words by April. So SMART goal, because it's specific, 500 new vocabulary words. It's measurable. We understand, did I do it or not? Like, did I learn 500 words or not? I can track it. It's achievable. So it sounds like something that it's actually possible to do. Is it realistic? Yeah, it's 500 words. I can break that down each day, each week. Is it timely? Sure, maybe for this person. It's a very timely goal. I have a vocabulary gap. Another example is this. Learn how to talk about my hobby in the next 6 weeks. Learn how to talk about my hobby in the next 6 weeks. So I have a 6-week time period to talk about my hobby. So that means I need to be able to have a conversation about my hobby. Maybe I have a conversation partner and I can check whether I was able to do it or not. So this is another specific goal. Pass a proficiency test. I know lots of you take proficiency tests like TOEIC and TOEFL. What else is there? BULATs. There's so many. So if maybe passing a proficiency test is your goal, that's great. Just make sure it's, you break down your goals. Make sure you break down your studies. I'll talk about that later too. And finally, just another small, but actually these are my favorite kinds of goals. Sorry, it's kind of hidden by the banner there. I wrote it too far down on the board. I will read it. It says, be able to order a pizza over the phone by next month. Be able to order a pizza over the phone by next month. This means pick up the phone and order a pizza. So this is an example of a daily life goal. And actually these are my favorites because they're very what should I say? You can't really plan for them until you realize you're not able to do it. So this was something I wanted to be able to do. Like in my studies for Japanese, I knew I wanted to call a taxi to my house one day, and I knew that I needed to the vocabulary for that. So I looked up the vocabulary for it and thought through the sentences I would need. So these kinds of everyday life goals I think are really, really great because you can kind of understand how to use them right away. So this is how I wanted to start today's lesson, by talking about SMART goal setting. All right. So as we continue through today's lesson, maybe send your goal in the chat, and we can take a look and get some ideas. Maybe some of you are stuck a little bit with ideas for goals, so try to send a few through. Everybody's just saying hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, we'll take one quick break there, and then I'm going to talk about making your study plan. So this part, I have designed a lovely flowchart style presentation for this. We're going to talk about how to build and continue a study plan. I've hopefully got some hints here for people of every level. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll continue. I showed you a few of these earlier today, or today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are. I'll show you up close over here. Hello. So these, as I showed you before, these are free PDFs that we have from the link below the video on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube or Instagram, please check YouTube or Facebook to see these. There are many different topics. This one, it's hard to see. It's about cooking. This one is about talking online, so vocabulary you can use on the internet, on social media. Ways to plan time, so time-related vocabulary. If you like music, you can check out this one about singing. This one is shopping related. So there are lots and lots, oops, I have that twice. There are lots and lots of different topics that you can take a look at. These are all for free. You can download them from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. You do need an EnglishClass101.com account, but you can make one for free. And then after you make the account, log in. You can scroll to the bottom of the page after you log in to download these things. Lots of people have asked that. Alrighty, great. So with that, let's continue to the meat of today's presentation, the main focus of today's topic, how to make your study plan. So it's kind of a cycle. We're going to look at how to make this plan for ourselves and continue making the plan. So if you have not already, please make sure to hit the like button and share the video if you have not already. We're going to get started. Okay, let's take a look. Let's start. We're going to start right here. So the first step, or the first place I want to start here, is this assess yourself step, the assess yourself. So assess, maybe a new vocabulary word for some of you. Assess. To assess means to check yourself here. So it means look closely at yourself. So, and kind of understand the different parts of yourself for your language studies. So ask yourself, what can I do and what can't I do right now? So this is you're going to give yourself a level check in this way. So ask yourself, can I do something? So finish this question. Can I, for example, introduce myself? Or can I read a magazine article in English, or maybe if you're studying a different language too? Can I do this? Can I read a magazine article? Can I understand a TV show I like? So think about the different things you do in your life in your native language and ask yourself, can I do that in the language that I'm studying? So also make sure when you do this, I know lots of you are thinking about your speaking skills or maybe your listening skills, but when you ask these questions, you can actually make a list, or what I did, I made a Google form of all these questions, and then I can track my answers over time. So that might be a tip for some of you. So you can make a list of questions to ask yourself. Make sure your questions are asking about speaking, reading, writing, and listening skills. You need to have 4 different types of questions. So not just speaking, but consider speaking, reading, writing, and listening. So you make sure you cover all 4 of those main bases of language learning, yeah? So can I understand a TV show I like is another question to consider. So that's maybe listening related. Can I talk about my work? A speaking question. Can I read my friends' social media posts? So that's a reading related question. Can I do a job interview in my second language or third language? can I write an essay? Or can I give a presentation? These are just a few ideas. I chose, when I made this list for myself and for my students, I chose about 20 to 25 questions in each category, in reading, writing, speaking, listening. And I made them very easy to a little challenging to difficult to very advanced. So like, for example, the very easy questions are like, I can say my name, I can give my name, I can give my phone number. And the very advanced ones are like, I can participate in a debate about a topic I've researched or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But make sure your questions you ask yourself go from easy to very difficult. So the reason, ask yourself these things and give yourself 3 choices for an answer. You can answer with, yes, I can, easily. So can I introduce myself? Yes, easily. It's easy for me to say, my name is Alicia, or my name is your name, whatever that is. So if your answer to the question is, yes, I can, easily, it's easy for me to do that. The next step is to go to a more difficult question. So continue to the more difficult question. The purpose of this is to find the spot that's a little challenging for you. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. If, however, you ask yourself these questions and you find one that's no, not at all, I can't do it at all, it's impossible for me to do, that's fine, that's good. Just keep that for your future studies. So don't worry so much about that. If it's totally impossible for you, okay, great. That's for your future studies. If, however, you say, can I understand a TV show I like? You ask this question, and your answer is, yes, a little, but it's difficult. That is a good maybe spot to start your studies. So the things that are possible, but they're still a little bit difficult for you, that's a good spot to start. So again, if your answer is yes, okay, fine, that's great. And then continue on to the next hardest level of difficulty for your focus. That's what I mean here. So your focus should be on the next level of difficulty. So one reason that people get stuck at like the middle level, the intermediate level, is because they continue studying the things that are already easy for them. So you have to challenge yourself in order to progress to the next level. So look for questions that you answer yes, but it's a little bit difficult. So with this, let's continue to the next part. So the next step in this process is to ask why. So when I say why, I mean, why is it difficult for you? For example, this one, can I understand a TV show I like? If you say, yes, a little, but it's difficult, why is it difficult for you to understand the TV show? Some examples. I don't know the words that I need. So maybe in this TV show you're watching, you don't have the vocabulary. Or maybe for an essay you're reading, you don't have the vocabulary words to understand this essay. So this is a vocabulary related problem. I don't know the words I need. So this is a pretty good hint. Maybe I should study vocabulary. Or maybe I don't understand this grammar. So I'm reading an article, I'm reading this thing in my favorite magazine or in a newspaper, and the grammar that's used, I just totally don't understand it. The words, I can understand the words, but I don't understand the grammar, or I feel I'm missing something in the grammar. So that's a pretty good hint. You should focus on grammar. Another one, for those of you working on writing, I know many of you send me questions. How do I write a paragraph? If you feel I can't write smoothly, so smoothly means your sentences connect nicely. You have good connecting words, transition words, like then, so, moreover, furthermore, and so on. So if you feel you can't write smoothly, maybe you should focus on writing, improving your writing skills. Some of you often say native speakers talk too fast. Native speakers talk too fast. So a reminder, I'm speaking a little more slowly. Actually, for this lesson, I'm speaking a bit even more slowly so everyone can easily understand. So keep in mind that when you're watching someone like me or you're watching your other teachers on YouTube or online, we speak at a different rate. We speak a little more slowly. And we choose our words very carefully to make sure that everyone can understand, and also to be able to kind of challenge our listeners and our viewers by choosing words and explaining them in easy ways. So this is called grading your language. So this is why lots of you ask me this, why do I understand you but I don't understand native speakers? This is the reason. Teachers, educators choose to use a different style of speaking when working with their students, when working with learners. So if you think native speakers talk too fast, so this is maybe a listening issue. So this is another way, like another thing to consider, how to kind of move up in your listening skills. So if you only listen to me, I appreciate it, but make sure to find other more challenging things to listen to as well. So don't just focus on the easy things again. Finally, I have this one in red because it's a little different issue. Some of you just say, I'm not confident. I'm not confident. That will come with practice. The answer to that one is practice. So the answer for all of these really in the background is please just practice. Please just practice. So I'm not confident. Yes, everybody has this issue for sure. I still have this issue, and you just, I think, have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable a little bit. So that will come with practice. So this is maybe a way to find your focus points. So ask yourself why. Again, connecting here. Why is this thing difficult for me? Why is this activity difficult for me? Think about it. Is it words? Is it grammar? I can't write very well. I can't understand. I can't catch everything they're saying. This can help you to find your focus point. Also, one point to please keep in mind, native speakers are not perfect. We all make mistakes. We make mistakes all the time. All the time means very often. So please remember, it's natural to make mistakes. It's good to make mistakes. We learn from them. And oftentimes native speakers, we don't know the word for something, or we find a new vocabulary word and we check the dictionary. I don't know all the words. It's not possible, I don't think, to know all the words in the English language, and maybe not in your language either. So please keep in mind, it's very natural to not know things and to make mistakes. I've already made several mistakes in this lesson, like I couldn't say Instagram earlier. So please keep in mind, nobody's perfect, and all of us are still learning in some way. Okay, so time's going quick. I will continue on, I guess, to the next part. So the next part, after you find a focus point. Maybe you have a couple of focus points. I know for me, mine is always vocabulary. Somehow, I just always feel my vocabulary is low. So I always choose activities related to studying vocabulary. That is true. So you find your focus point. What do I want to focus on? The next step then is like how to focus, building your study schedule. So in other words, this question you should ask yourself in this step is, what am I going to do to improve this thing? So in my case, for example, I said I feel my vocabulary is bad. So maybe this is my idea. 15 minutes of vocabulary study with flashcards in the morning and in the evening. This was my actual solution. I did this, I had an app on my phone. True story. I had an app on my phone. I used it in the morning when I went to work on the subway, and after work in the evening on the subway. 15 minutes. It was 30 minutes of study a day. I did that for like a year, and my vocabulary went up a lot. This was a really, really good one for me. So if you're studying vocabulary, maybe this will work for you too. Again, I used an app, a Japanese study app. You can find lots of different apps, flashcard apps, and of course we have flashcards at EnglishClass101.com, so check those out too. Other ideas. If you want to work on your listening, you could listen to one audio lesson every day. And again, I have 2 times a day. I guess just for me, it was so great to refresh myself on the lesson I did or the topics I studied in the morning, and then study again in the evening. That really helped me. And then I would review later that week as well. So maybe 2 times a day, you listen to an audio lesson, like a 10-minute audio lesson in the morning, 10-minute audio lesson in the evening. So here's something to work on your listening skills. Again, if you want to use media, I know lots and lots of you like to use media, which is great. You can watch a movie once a week for example, choose a new movie to watch once a week, and maybe try to choose a movie that's not like a super sci-fi, or it's not like I don't know, a comedy maybe. Comedies can be kind of difficult to understand sometimes. So choose a new movie once a week and write down new words in a notebook. So don't just like put the movie on and clean your house or just stare at the screen, but really practice your active listening. So that means writing new words down, or maybe if you're beginning, you can listen and then read the subtitles in your language. If you're more intermediate or advanced, you can read the subtitles in English. There are many different ways to use movies and video and so on. So that's an idea. Another idea, read 3 magazine articles a week and look up the words you don't know. So don't just pass over the words that you don't know. If you find a word you don't know, stop, check the dictionary. What does it mean? This is what I do when I read articles in English. Sometimes I'll find a new word in an article and I need to look it up. So this is something that you can do for your language studies. Other ideas? Watch a video lesson every day. So, of course, there are many of you watching now. Thank you very much. But you can watch a video lesson every day, not just once a week. Of course, we have many video lessons on our website and on our YouTube channel, English Class 101. I'm just saying that a lot today, I guess. And then another idea is to write in a diary every day. Write in a diary every day to improve your writing skills. What did you do? What are you going to do? What are you thinking about? So using your second language as much as possible. Some other ideas are coming in. Elton on YouTube says, I listen to a lot of podcasts every day. That's a good idea. Yeah, choose some podcasts. If you don't know what a podcast is, it's an audio file. So you can download them to your smartphone, or you can listen to them online in your web browser. It's usually like 1 or 2 people talking about one topic for like 30 minutes or maybe an hour or so. And sometimes there's video. So like I have one actually. I do audio and I have video too, so that people can see facial expressions as well. So you can find a podcast that you like and listen to that or watch that once a week. That's another great idea. Christopher says, I spend 50 minutes from Monday to Friday separately reading for 15 minutes, listening 15, and speaking 20 minutes. Wow, that's nice. Great. Excellent. Lynn said, what kind of audio lessons should I listen to? Sorry, I just missed your thing. Audio lessons. I couldn't see the last part of your question. Can we scroll up? I lost it. It was a good question. Oh, there it is. Okay. Some are boring because they're not live. Oh, yeah. If you want to find audio lessons, we have some on our YouTube channel, on the English Class 101 YouTube channel. You are watching on Facebook, so you might hop over to YouTube to see. And then, of course, we have some on our website. We have everything like, there's like a course on our website with audio lessons, so you can check that out too. So you can find all that from the link below or above the video if you want to check that out. Okay, other things. Okay, I don't see other points here yet. Another thing I like to do is I do all of my social media posts bilingually. So like Facebook and Instagram, that's my like personal challenge. I write it in English and in Japanese always. Maybe there's mistakes. There's probably a lot of mistakes in my Japanese, but that's another thing that I try to do to make the language part of my everyday life. So it's cool. All right, we'll take one more quick break and then we'll go to the final part of today's study session. I'll show you these one more time, stuff that I maybe didn't show you earlier. So a couple more of these I mentioned. I showed you this one. These are all free that I showed earlier. This one's shopping. Where's one I didn't show you? I didn't show you vocabulary words for like around your city. There's one for that. There's another one for emergency related words. Good to know. If you have pets, there's a few resources to talk about those, and travel as well. So we have lots and lots of different topics for you to consider. Make sure to find that from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram. I can't see your comments live. Check YouTube or Facebook to get that stuff. Okie dokie, let's go to the last part for today. The last part for today is everyone's favorite part, actually studying. So maybe this is the hardest part for many of you. I know it is for me. Like, I like to make the plan and then I sometimes just don't have the energy, or I want to like watch TV or be on my phone. So study. So you've made this schedule, you asked yourself the questions, you've thought about your level, all of this work, then you get to study. So take the time to do it. You know, you give yourself a month or 3 months or whatever. Study according to your schedule is obviously the next step. You made this lovely plan, so put it to use. Study according to your schedule. So what did you choose to do? Study 15 minutes a day in the morning and in the evening? Great, do that. So study. That's the next obvious step. Then, after this, we come back to the first step in the process. Hooray! So, assess yourself again. So, you study according to your schedule. That means you study for 3 months, and then at the end of 3 months, at the end of your schedule, come back, assess yourself, ask the same question. Now, can I understand this TV show I like? If the answer is yes, easily, great. Go on to the next thing. If the answer is still, yes, a little, but it's difficult, ask why? What am I missing? So this like flow will help you to always consider the next step and to also consider the reason you're not able to do this thing yet. So even if you don't have a teacher or you don't have someone to check you all the time, you can at least use this flow chart to consider how to move forward and how to challenge yourself. So I hope that this is helpful for you. I want to finish today. I'm late. Classic. I want to finish today by sharing two tips. And then we'll say goodbye. First, break down your activities and your conversations into small pieces. So by that I mean, don't say, I want to travel to the USA. Make it a smaller goal. So say, I want to check in at my hotel. I want to order a coffee at a restaurant. I want to make a reservation at a cafe, whatever. Break it down into smaller pieces and consider the things that the people are probably going to say to you and the things that you will need to respond with. So break down your goals into smaller pieces. Stop saying, like, I want to be fluent. I want to be fluent. Yes, we all want to be fluent, but this is really hard to understand as a goal. Second, one of my personal favorite tips, one thing that I have learned over the years is extremely helpful, is to study as if you are going to teach the topic to someone else. This is extremely helpful for me. So if I study just for myself, I'll think like, I kind of have it, great, okay, I'll continue on. But if you study like you're going to teach someone else, it's a whole other level. You're responsible for communicating the information to someone else. So when you're studying grammar, for example, think about how you would explain that grammar to someone else. I stole this tip from programming, actually, from programmers. Apparently there's this thing in programming, I'm sorry, I'm late. There's this thing in programming where if a programmer finds a problem in code, they'll explain it to like a rubber duck or to like a little creature they have on their desk, just to have the opportunity to explain it out loud to someone else. And in the process of teaching someone else about the problem, they can often find out what the issue is. So study like you're going to teach someone. Even if you don't have someone to teach, try to practice explaining the issue. Okay, I have to finish there. I'm very late. Oh my gosh, it's a busy day. So we'll end there. I hope that this was helpful for you. I will step away from the board so you can take a screenshot. Hooray. And then we'll end. So thanks for joining us as always this week. Really appreciate it and good to be back. Fantastic. We'll be back next week. Next week, same time, same channel, same place. What is the topic? January 16th. Yes, how to use common English idioms. Really? Is that what I wrote? Okay, it seems it is. I tried to do a couple idiom lessons every year, so I haven't done one in a while, so I will choose some new idioms to describe for next week's lesson. So please join us 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. Please Google it if you do not know your local time. We'll finish there for today. Thank you very, very much for liking and for sharing the video. We all really, really appreciate it. Make sure to download your free stuff from the link below the video or above the video if you have not already. And enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.